What's up, buddies, and welcome to Elk Don't Exist, the podcast, a comedy and humor forward hunting podcast. I wanted to create the podcast about hunting that was more entertaining, less tips and tricks and tactics, and just more like sharing campfire stories with your buddies. So welcome. I'm very glad to have you. This podcast, as always, is brought to you by OnX Maps, OnX Hunt specifically. As some of you know, I just killed my first ever bull with a bow. It took me 12 years. That's where the whole Elk Don't Exist mantra and mindset and brand came from, is how freaking difficult it is to kill an elk with your bow. OnX was pivotal on this elk hunt, especially the LiDAR feature. If I heard bugles in the morning or glassed elk, depending on time of day, I was able to open my maps and get a really good estimate to where those elk were either going or coming from based on LiDAR. It's like your topo map with infinitely more detail. You can see little benches where they might be bedding and this, that, and the other thing. OnX rules, I don't have to tell you twice. Sign up, get Elite, you get all 50 states, you get amazing gear deals. Big shout out to OnX for making this podcast possible. We're also brought to you by Tricer. Tricer makes lightweight glassing systems, bipods. I have their new bipod right here. And I have had this in my hands since the first prototype back in early March. And I don't know what else to say about it. It's 15 ounces. You get a set of long legs, which go from 8 inches to 30 inches. So you're completely covered prone to sitting, kneeling. One throw lever for your cant and 360 degrees of panning. You get in a Picatinny quick release plate as well as an Arca quick release plate out of the box. Rubber feet, set of short legs, metal claw feet. It's infinitely adjustable. It covers dang near every shooting position except for standing. I love this thing. And you can use code dillonsucks, my favorite code ever, or EDE, that's Elk Don't Exist, phonetically. Is that how you say that? EDE10 saves you money and supports the channel on one of these. My camera and everything else is set up on Tricer tripods. When you have something that makes glassing more fun, when you have a tool that makes glassing more doable, you find more animals, and if you're not me, you kill more animals. So huge shout out to Tricer. They were my first ever sponsor. I'm ride or die for those guys. That's code dillonsucks or EDE10. Saves you 10% off your order. We are also brought to you by Lacrosse Footwear. Big shout out to Lacrosse. I love these guys. I have been using their ES boot even before I was sponsored. I'm not a big fan of buying a $500 pair of boots that are still going to last 2 to 3 years at the most. I've always been buy a $200, $250 boot, lasts you 2 years, and I just consider it an extra hunting expense. This is the ES, extremely lightweight. This is the boot I wore all 2024 season, well over 100 miles on these things, and they're still going strong. Waterproofing is great. They're very comfortable. No boot fits everyone's foot the same, so please get out to your local sporting goods store. Almost dropped it on my face there. Get out to your local sporting goods store, try these on. If they work for you, man, these things are unreal. Huge shout out to Lacrosse for sponsoring the channel. All right, we'll do one more ad and then we'll get into this podcast. We are brought to you by 2O. Everyone out there is making amazing Western hunt apparel. 2O is a newer company, but they've been in the apparel game for over 100 years. And this is their foray into Western hunting apparel. And a little over 2 years ago, they reached out and said, hey, do you want to wear our stuff? And I said, I have to absolutely love it because I'm, wearing $18,000 in Kuiu right now. And if it's not better or equivalent to my Kuiu, it makes no sense for me to wear this. They sent me a bunch of stuff, and man, I've been loving it. It sits at a price point just under the big dogs, and I've been really impressed. And I don't get paid a dime from 2O, just so you guys know. I just really like it. It fits my brand better, being able to provide weekend warriors and blue collar everyday guys a Western hunting apparel system that isn't going to completely drain their bank account. It's still very quality and still expensive, but not quite at that upper echelon price point. And I've had people from other clothing companies put this merino on that I'm holding now, and they say, man, if I didn't have to wear our stuff, I would be wearing this. This is my favorite merino I've ever worn. And this is their new Kinetic Merino 150 hoodie. It's super lightweight, but gives you a hoodie for those early mornings. You need a little extra heat. This came in clutch on my elk hunt. I was wearing a 150 base layer, and then when it was really cold in the mornings, I'd put this 150 hoodie on top of that, shed it once I get up to the mountain where I want to start glassing or whatever, and it's the softest, best merino I've ever put on. I don't know how they did it, but it's phenomenal. dillonsucks code at 20gear.com saves you like 25%. So on already gear that's already an approachable price point, you can save 20 or 25% with Dillon Sucks. If you're looking for a terrific layering system for Western hunting, give 2.0 a shot. You won't be disappointed. Guys, my guest today is the one and only Pastor Levi Lusko. He's been my pastor, my family's pastor, for over 10 years now. I used to work for him. My wife still works for him at Fresh Life Church, the church we attend, the church I drum at, the church I serve at, where all my best friends are. Love Fresh Life so much, and I love the Lusko family so much. Levi is a world-renowned Christian preacher, speaker, author, and a great guy and fun to be around. We had a great conversation. We talked about his new book and why he isn't hunting at this point in his life yet. Please enjoy this episode of the podcast that starts right now.
It's nice to have an off-camera laugh, just for the
it is, so you know.
Yeah.
Because some of these hunters that I interview, I have this theory that the best, in the hunting world, we call them killers. Like, they get it done every year. They're the best of the best.
Yeah.
And like the common...
ringers.
The winners,
The ringers.
The ringers, okay. But the one like common thread is you've met an engineer before. You can know immediately. Mm-hmm. It's like, do they have autism or are they an engineer? That vibe?
Yeah.
They can control their emotion. And there's so much in life too that you'll be so much better off if you can control your emotions.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
And why, I can shoot thousands of arrows a year. I do all this scouting. I work harder than most guys, which is a common misconception with me.
Yeah.
I'd fumble the ball on the 1 yard line because you can't reel that emotion in. And it's so hard to practice for that. Like, how else do you practice for that adrenaline, that easy? Like, I've been full draw on a bull before, and, you have pins. Like, okay, put the green pin at 20 yards. And with all that adrenaline, those pins just morph together.
Yeah.
But, it's so interesting. All the best killers, the ringers, you talk to them and it's like talking to a robot almost,
Like the Navy SEAL kind of like just stone-faced.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Or like they just have that thing where in the heat of the moment, their emotions don't completely
Everything
take over.
Everything slows down, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
And I think that happens a lot. Like you still get nervous when you're preaching.
Yeah, for sure.
And I remember you...
Not when, before.
Before.
Right up until always.
Right.
My experience is usually it's chaos, it's loud, it's cacophonous, like the day of, especially like, if you're speaking at a thing in the night, like as you wake up, as the day gets kind of just louder and louder and louder. And like sometimes I'm like, want to ask my family, like, can you hear that? Like, it's just so loud. And then it gets kind of like to a fever pitch, like where I used to always throw up.
Right.
Always.
I remember you talking about that. You've written about it too.
I threw up in a lot of different backstage, and then I wasn't always like a nice green room. Like it would be like an alley. It would be like anywhere I could get to. Like I spoke at a theme park once, like a literal like a state fair kind of. Don't think nice theme park. Think like rinky dink.
Yeah.
And
lawsuits
I just
in
found
the roller
myself
coasters.
like behind the tilt-a-whirl vomiting, which I was not the only
which
one.
Is an apt
there was
place
quite a
to
few
throw
people
up.
there doing it, and then I went, and spoke because they had this church had rented it to do an outreach. But I don't throw up anymore. But always when I step up on stage, it's almost always a calm.
Right.
And
Was
it's
it
almost
always
like the eye of
like
the
that,
hurricane.
or did you? Because for me, when I first was preaching, that would go away like 30 minutes in, and then I could settle in, and there wasn't shaking in my voice, and then you preach, and then it's 10 minutes into the sermon it goes away, or was the second you stepped up there?
Almost always, it's pretty calm the moment I kind of begin.
Cool.
I mean, there's tricks. You can kind of like smile, like sometimes people start talking as they're walking. But if you take a beat, another thing is too, people sometimes when they get introduced to speak somewhere, they run.
Right.
Or they run upstairs, and then you're winded, and you're like gasping.
Yeah.
So instead of you just
nervous.
go slow,
Right.
walk slow, be confident. If you take a second, it actually makes people lean in more. If people sense you're filling with nervous energy, it actually makes them tune out a little bit.
Big
or
time.
if you just kind of like take a beat, thank you. I think those things help. But also, even in times when I had my wisdom teeth taken out and I spoke the next week, not a great decision.
Sure.
I was like bleeding from the mouth while I was speaking.
You gotta watch out for that dry socket.
I got
Terrible
multiple.
term.
Did you get it?
No,
Dry
I
sockets?
still have 3
You have all your
wisdom
wisdom
teeth. I never grew the 4th one.
They have a use in your mouth, maybe.
They just bite the back of my gums.
Okay.
I hate going to the dentist.
Yeah. All that to say, like even in the worst of it, I find when you're in it, the calm kind of kicks in, and then you'll end and you'll regret it and think I did it wrong and I'm a mess, and all that kind of kicks back up. Yeah.
You talk about the vulnerability post preaching or post anything cool that you do. I mean, I've read all your books. You just wrote a new one. It's right here. I'm going to show the camera real quick. Blessed Are the Spiraling. This is one of my favorite books.
We can all feel seen now.
This was, and we'll talk about this. This was one of my just favorites that you've written, and just for this season I'm in now, just one of my favorite books ever. I read it at the perfect time. And what's interesting is you wrote this kind of, I don't like saying for you the tail end of your career, because I don't think that's true at all. But where you were known as, you planted Fresh Life when you were 24.
Yeah, exactly.
That is crazy.
Young.
I thank God every day that my dreams didn't come true when I was that young. Like, that's a lot for anybody. But you were always known as the young preacher, the young pastor. And you're still young, obviously. But that's kind of where this book came out of almost like an identity crisis of sorts, if that's fair to say, or a midlife crisis kind of a thing. But what's very interesting is my dreams have just started coming true. I wanted to play music for a living or hunt for a living. And one of those things is happening very organically.
You play music while you hunt for a living.
I know, it's awesome.
It's perfect.
But so I'm reading this from the start with like this great roadmap of what could lie ahead. So it's kind of like daunting for me reading that book, but I'm so glad you wrote it. Not just, for me reading it, but so many people that I know what to expect down the road. Like, I think it's foolish to think something's going to last forever or your platform's going to be as big as it is forever. But yeah, thank you for writing it. I've been recommending it to a lot of people. What's cool for me is, I'm like the funny, bad hunter guy, but my DMs and my phone is full of people that I'm like able to help with their walk with the Lord. And it's been great to recommend that book.
Well, you've been so transparent and vulnerable about hard seasons and your battle with emotional health and mental health. And I think people respect that you're willing to just let your hair down, be vulnerable. I've loved watching you find your unique sound, your unique angle. And I think something that sets you apart from an industry that takes itself real seriously is you don't. And I think that makes people feel like they can, feel seen, feel a part of a community. And I think it's awesome.
Thank you. That means a lot to me coming from you. It was scary. I used to work for you, and in some ways I feel like I still do.
In some ways I feel like I never left.
I never left.
The prodigal son has come
My
home.
wife still works here. What a rock star she is.
She's fantastic. You guys are both amazing, and you're both so gifted and talented, and I love it. I love following. I'm eating the popcorn and following along on the journey.
You, I appreciate it.
I celebrated with you when you got that elk, when you found out they do exist. The whole world rejoiced.
I'm still a little bit unsure. When something happens, it feels like a dream. Like the first time you stood up at Passion or something, I'm sure that still feels like, did that happen?
Sure.
Wow. I'm preaching in front of 60,000 people.
I still can't believe I got up and preached in front of 12 people. I mean, it's just, to me,
right? That's scarier, in my opinion.
Yeah. To get to speak, to get to share, to get to do what you feel like you were created to do. That's the joy,
Yes, for
sure. So for it to scale or not scale, I mean, obviously you don't want to be unsuccessful at anything, but I think when I started Fresh Life, there was 14 people.
Right.
And then the next week, or the week before, I had spoken at an event with 14,000, and God told me, I felt like He told me, if you'll be as faithful with 14 as 14,000, I'll take you where I want to take you. Just don't ever not take it seriously.
Right.
And I think that's the thing I've tried to have in my heart is I'm going to be as focused for a small thing as for a big thing. And just whatever God does, not let that go to my head. I think that's the goal, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. That's beautiful. And it's easier for me, like growing a platform and just reminding people like, hey, this is fun. And if it wasn't, we wouldn't be doing this. So let's not take ourselves so seriously. And there's a lot of parallels there between ministry, and everything's ministry if you're a Christian, right? But I mean, like full-time vocational ministry, like that's a serious, heavy, weighty thing. But you still have to find time to keep it light, And I feel like you've done a great job with that. Like you are a fun person to be around.
Oh man, thank you.
And that's got to be tough sometimes.
Get on the occasional water slide.
Yeah, absolutely.
So stupid. But that was a good time.
It was a great time.
Yeah,
we just went to Disney World together. It was my first time being there.
No, I meant the water slide. I was talking about the Carnival cruise.
Oh, I never went on a water slide on the cruise.
I thought we did it together.
I don't like water that much.
Yeah. It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Common water.
Yes.
Like water that other people are in. I like private water. Like
more of a private water.
I'm more of a private water guy. Dude, like there's nothing grosser than like a hot tub at a motel or hotel that's got like 80 people in it. Okay. I can't not look into the drain. I'm like just so paranoid a Band-Aid's gonna hit me.
I remember
a ball of hair,
My mom would tell me like that foam is like 90% skin. Yeah, I can't do it, man.
Yeah, I had a youth pastor who always told me hot tubs are pube stew, and I can't get that out of my head. I've
always called it butthole soup.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. Yeah.
Pube stew is somehow worse.
It's worse.
So thank you for that.
Yeah. You may now. He gave it to me as a gift. I have now given it to you.
And I will steward it and pass it along.
Pass the mantle on to the next person. It's just, and I don't know why. Hotels make hot tubs like 3 inches for some reason.
Teeny tiny.
It'll be like a giant tower of a hotel, and the hot tub is like just, and there's just all these bodies just jammed.
Yeah, I can't do that.
So you never went down the water slide?
I never went down the water slide. I don't regret it.
I think the point of that story is...
I was going somewhere.
If you can't chill, if you can't be a regular person, like I've always had it in my head that I don't want to hire anybody that can't like turn off the intense mode.
So a staff value.
You want an intense mode, but you want to be able to turn it off.
Yeah.
And someone who can't not, like if you have a dinner and you're hanging out, all they're doing is talking and work the whole time, it's like, do you have a life too? Like, is there life beyond just this moment? And I think that's what you're expressing within the hunting community too.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's the similarities I've seen is like, yes, this is a weighty thing. It's a very weighty, like shooting an animal is not the best part. Like that's the weirdest part of it all. Because there's this weird sense of like, wow, I did it and I have food, like this, like, what would be the word, caveman-esque ancestral thing. And then you're also really sad, especially like for some of these animals, like some of the, the type of hunting I'm the best at, I would say, is finding mature whitetails. Some of these deer I've been after for 2-3 years. So there's like a weird connection to them. And you take one of those and it's like, wow, like all this time I've put in, I feel like I know this. A lot of whitetail guys in the South, they'll name their deer. That's always been hilarious to me. But there's sadness to it. Like, it's a heavy thing to take a life.
Walking up to it, I imagine. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's this strange. It's impossible to explain unless you do it.
No, I know enough from just even fishing. Like, I don't hunt, but like even just, and it's catch and release. But like, there's a sense, not only exhilaration, right? What do they say? The tug is the drug. I'm sure multiply that times a caliber of a bullet, it's probably even more intense. But
it's all pretty great.
But the seeing a fish come up and take a dry fly and getting in your hands, like, and obviously growing up, I remember you trying to get the hook out, the fish dies, and like that feeling of like,
horrible,
I just ended this fish's life, and I don't intend to eat you. It's a bad feeling.
Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah. When you get them up and you realize, it's deep.
Yeah. My kids, like processing that with my kids, like when the fish ate the hook too deep in or whatever, and they're just like, this thing's not going to live.
Yeah.
And they're just all sad. Yeah.
You put it back in the water, it's
just keeps
doing the half turn.
Yeah, that's not good.
I've been there.
But you're eating it, it's feeding your family.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And even like, the worst feeling as a hunter is wounding something or thinking the shot was perfect and not finding it and looking for sometimes 2-3 weeks, just trying to find.
And knowing it's out there,
like
wounded and the whole deal.
Yes. Yeah. Or knowing like it's going to die, but nothing out there goes to waste. Like the wolves, the coyotes, grizzlies, like it's not like that meat is going for nothing, but then that like sense of extreme guilt of this thing probably could have lived another 2 years and didn't have to be, wolf food. Mm-hmm. But so it's a weighty, heavy thing, and ministry is too. We're dealing with people's lives, and we're all very broken and very messy. Even the best of the best.
Especially.
Yeah.
Usually. The good one, all the good ones are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all deeply broken people, so that's like a heavy thing, but all throughout the Bible, and why I've loved your preaching for, I think me and Caitlin started listening to you before we were married, like 12 years ago.
Wow.
When we discovered you. You have always preached on like how funny the Bible can be, like truly hilarious. And I just think, Jesus' first, disciples were fishermen. I mean, that's like you going to, hey, I'm going to plant this church. Let's go to the dirtiest truck stop I can find. And these just salt of the earth, gritty,
rough and tumble,
outcasts. There's just no way that Jesus wasn't hilarious at times, Mm-hmm. So that mix. And what's your favorite example off the top of Jesus being funny or humor in the Bible? Like, what's the one you think of often? Obviously, like the camel, eye of the needle.
Sure.
I think that was a masterful punchline, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I think he, when the disciples come back and they're like, we preached to the Samaritans and they didn't listen. You want us to call down fire from heaven and destroy them all? And Jesus just looks at them and is like, of course not. Like,
what are you talking about?
Why would I do that? Like, he goes, the Son of Man didn't come to destroy towns with bolts of lightning. He came to bring life. Like, Did you guys not get the memo on everything we've been doing? Or just how often he has to be like, the Son of Man has come to seek and to serve and lay down his life for a ransom for many. And then it's like 12 minutes later, the disciples are like, which one of us is the greatest? And Jesus walks up to them and knowing what they talked about, he's like, what were you guys talking about on the road? Yeah. And it says they didn't want to tell him.
They were embarrassed.
Because they had been arguing about which is the greatest. And like, I think his the way he handles the group dynamics and the HR issues and the apostles is hilarious. The Sons of Thunder.
What a great nickname. That was like a barb.
Yeah, he called them Sons of Thunder because of that day.
Right.
I mean, the fact that he took that and made it the nickname, like it's like the dunce cap that kids used to have to wear at school. Like he turned it into like their name. But I think they were pumped on it. They're like, that's kind of cool.
That's a cool nickname. I've been called a lot worse.
I've been called a lot worse. That and then like even like how he would handle the Pharisees is so funny. He's just a master like chess player, and he would get them in their own traps, and then they would be like, the guys they would send to stump Jesus would come back and be like, we're not ever talking to that guy again. Like he was just so good with them.
I love it, man. I think if you read the Bible, I mean, how many old Jesus films where he's, kind of glowing and just straight-faced all the time. Like, I wish there was more examples of, just the small talk around the fire while he's cooking fish for him. I wish there was more examples of, or late nights, sleeping, someone farts and they all laugh about it.
Sure.
That's not gospel, guys.
Well, he was human like we are, so we can assume that there was all the things. But
right.
I think that's what so many people have resonated with about The Chosen, is you're seeing Jesus in the water have a chicken fight. You're seeing him make fun of one of the disciples when they can't dance. He was fully human.
Right.
I think that is, when you actually, if you take the Bible out of the stained glass, when you actually just read it, there's so much humor. There's so much that's funny. There's so much sarcasm. There's so much double entendre. Right. Paul's cheeky. I mean, there's a lot of the stuff that's irreverent from what you've heard it said. Here's what I say. Go cut your eye out. I mean, Jesus is wild. I mean, you just never can expect what he's going to say. And I think when you actually take a look at it, it hits you.
Definitely. Yeah, I love that. And that's what I'm trying to bring more to the hunting community, because there's so much ego, and there's so much ego in ministry world too. And it's this thought, like when I go out and I'm 5,000 feet up a mountain somewhere, a blizzard rolls in, I'm like, man, I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. I remember it's dark and my GPS is dead, and I remember there's cliffs over here somewhere and my headlight's dying. When I leave that environment, I feel
like a really badly planned excursion, Dillon.
You know me.
You have no batteries.
You've known me for 10 years.
And your GPS unit instead, and all you can remember is there's.
And I forgot food.
I don't like any of these ideas. You should have a backup for all of them.
We're growing. You've known me long enough.
You have 2 boys.
Now.
You have a wife.
Yes.
You need a backup battery and a GPS unit.
I carry 3 headlamps now.
Okay, very good.
And one, the Peaks headlamp. Shout out to Peaks. They're not a sponsor, but that's the best headlamp.
Let's talk about headlamps, because
yes,
I have had the same thing uphill skiing in the dark, in the pre-dawn hours. And one time I was in the no moonlight, and my headlamp died. And it was an Energizer brand gas station headlamp, and it died. And so I was like, I'm never going without a headlamp again. Luckily, my watch has a little flashlight on it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I got out of there with my watch. The Garmin, shout out Garmin. Not a sponsor.
Pay me.
But I'm considering it. But they have a flashlight built in, and I literally had to stay calm, use it, and then I bought that Peaks one, and that one's amazing.
It's terrific.
Yeah.
You tap it 3 times quick, and then that opens the 1,000 lumen.
Did you do
setting.
Green or red?
Red.
Because isn't hunting green like the green light?
Red or green.
Okay.
It's fine. Animals can't see it.
They don't have any idea.
No. I mean, I'm not around that many animals anyway, so it doesn't matter. But either one's fine. I like the red. It is a little spooky going in by yourself with that. But that's the brightest red light
And then do you keep
I've
a
ever used.
backup battery too that can charge that thing? Because it's USB-C.
Yes, I keep a power brick.
So you could charge up your battery for your GPS, your headlamp, and your watch all at the same time.
Yes.
Do you use a watch?
I don't.
Oh, well, there you go.
Not yet.
Yeah.
There's some stuff I can't talk about on camera right now.
What's the best hunting watch?
So far, Garmin.
Sure.
And that's all I can say at the moment.
Gotcha.
We'll talk about it off camera. It's pretty cool.
Tactical.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do they have a hunting line?
No.
Okay. It would just be like the tactics.
It's like an altimeter.
Sure.
Their GPS is all right. A lot of guys use them. I like, just having an altimeter, and there's a lot of great uses for one.
Track back.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm using OnX Maps
nice.
for all that.
Yeah.
Hit the tracker. It's great.
Is that on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if a company could come out
and that'll tell you what's private, what's public land, who owns everything, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'll show you my OnX over the years of where it's a great tool.
Everywhere
and the title
you've ever
sponsor,
gone.
actually. So shout out to OnX.
Everywhere
Thank
you've gone, it'll show you.
Oh, yeah. Yep, the tracker function, waypoints, LiDAR. Man, there's a billion and one things. You can highlight slope angle. So like for bear hunting, for instance, it's like, I like a 30-degree slope angle. I like really steep when I'm finding bears, and I want it all south-facing at this certain elevation band. And you can just set those parameters, and it'll just highlight. You can zoom out, it'll highlight all these faces, and then I want a running water in the bottom of that drainage.
I want huckleberries fresh.
Yes,
on the slope.
delivered.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
No, on the slope.
Oh, sure.
Wouldn't that be the same kind of? Don't they like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can find whatever you're
Bears
looking for.
eat berries.
They do.
Yeah. Beets, bears.
Battlestar Galactica. Very good.
Yeah.
God bless The Office.
Yeah.
The more I watch The Office, this is a hot take. I want your opinion. And the more I watch it, because I've watched it twice a year for
all of
years.
it.
Yes.
Wow. Commitment.
It's comforting to me.
They lost me after Carell left, man.
Very true.
I don't need all that Robert California, Will Ferrell.
It became a parody of itself.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard my favorite fan theory of The Office?
No.
Remember when Stanley has a heart attack? They say everything after that, Stanley died, and that's the hell that he's trapped in.
Stop.
Why everyone's a caricature of themselves and these weird characters.
It's like all copy of a copy of a copy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so that's my favorite.
That's actually so funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's when Dwight cuts the mask off of the CPR dummy.
One of my favorite episodes.
It's a great scene.
Hello, Clarice. The more I watch that show, the less I like Pam Beesly. And that is hard for people, but I think there's a nostalgia. If you watch it, after Carell left, she just becomes like uppity and passive aggressive.
Yeah,
and
she's like mad at Jim.
guys, clean the microwave.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, everything post Michael, I'm not a big fan of.
Correct.
I've watched it all, but didn't really enjoy it.
The season finale, I think, was wonderful.
Yeah, what's the one Idris Elba plays? What's that guy he plays?
Oh, he's terrific. What is his name?
It's great seeing Jim be unable to win him over.
Yes.
I think that's maybe the only part I really like solidly.
Yes.
The James Spader stuff, he was too weird. It was just all I think before there was this charm at work. You kind of felt like it could all be real, and then afterwards it just got too much.
A cartoon after that. So
circus.
Let's talk about Maven optics. I switched everything over to Maven optics about a year and a half ago, and I love them. As I tell people, if you have Swarovski money, hell yeah, dude, buy a Swarovski. If you don't, high-end Japanese glass versus high-end European glass, my eye can't really tell the difference, if I'm being honest for you. This is a third of the price. Maven stuff is a third of the price of Swarovski and like half of the price of some of other companies' higher-end optics. And I want to specifically shout out this. This is the new Maven M2. This is a monocular, and I never thought I'd ever be a monocular guy. And they sent this to me. This is their high-end Japanese glass. It's $500, which is an awesome price point for something like this. And it is a 12 by 50 monocular. But I think of it more as a mini spotting scope. So this stays in my truck, and when I'm out glassing, ag fields for whitetails before they go up to public land or whatever, this is on my window mount, and I can get great footage through this with my digiscope, or just glass with this instead of having to have my big 18 by 50 binos on a window mount. This is really, really light and really, really short form factor. So, but I also use this because for elk hunting, when I wanted to stay light, I used my 9 power binos instead of my 12s often. And when I was sitting down to glass and I wanted to reach out a little more, I would just keep this little guy in my hip belt, and I put a Tricer NS4 little aluminum Arca clamp on it, so that I can throw it in my tripod, and then I have a little tiny mini spotting scope if I want a little bit more reach. And it weighs like nothing, especially compared to carrying a big spotting scope or another pair of high power binoculars. I could just keep this in my hip belt, take it out, plant it on my Tricer tripod, and this thing worked out great. But the rifle scopes are amazing. I shoot the RS 3.2, and yeah, for the money, they're a direct-to-consumer company with still a world-class warranty. The build quality is really good. The glass quality is amazing, and it's a fraction of the price of other guys because these are not in retail stores, and that saves you a whole bunch of money on really, really high-end glass. So check Maven out. Big fan. Thank you for sponsoring the podcast and just sponsoring the lifestyle. Also, huge shout out to Barnes Bullets, Barnes Ammunition. This is the new Harvest collection. I just got my Seekins 6.5 PRC. My 7th, 8th, and 9th shots, so my first group out of the gun after zeroing the rifle, shot a 1/2-inch group. And the coolest thing about Barnes, they're known for their monolithic solid copper bullets, but they wanted to create something that was more of a lead core bullet, rapid expansion for thin-skinned, medium-skinned game, which I really like. So I got this 6.5 PRC from Seekins as my dedicated deer rifle, something with really low recoil. I'll take this bear hunting, but out of a brand new barrel. With the other thing with this is it's $40 to $45 a box in all the most popular calibers. So it's very affordable, and I'm still getting 1/2-inch groups out of it. Crappy shooter, brand new gun, brand new barrel. I've been super impressed with these, and I can't wait to try them out during deer season. So shout out to Barnes for sponsoring the podcast. And also shout out to Seekins Precision. They sent me the PH3, and I'm doing a really cool project this fall where I'm taking brand new hunters out for their first ever deer hunt. I'm so excited about it. I pitched that idea to Seekins kind of on a whim. It was a 5-minute phone call, and they said, hell yeah, we'll send you 3 brand new rifles for these 3 hunters you're going to take out. They've been amazing to work with. Shout out to Maddie from Seekins and Sarah from Seekins. But yeah, just got the new Seekins PH3. It has a 60-degree bolt throw. It's a $1,900 gun, and I'm convinced for that price point, this is far and away the best off-the-shelf rifle that money can buy. It has a complete M-LOK forend, so any kind of attachment you want to put, Picatinny Arca, it's all M-LOK on the forend, 60-degree bolt throw. The Picatinny rail for your scope rings is built right into the action, so you don't have to worry about a pick rail coming loose over time. The bolt just wants to close. It's like spring-loaded, so as you shut it, it just wants to close. You can run that bolt super hard, super fast. I got it in a 20-inch barrel, and so impressed. 1/2-inch gun before even breaking it in, before trying other ammo. I'm just through the moon. If you're saving up for a rifle and you got $2,000, man, you'd be hard pressed to beat Seekins, I think. Their reputation is glowing. Their customer service is world class, and they don't have an accuracy guarantee. They have a satisfaction guarantee, which I really love. So if 1/2 inch is not satisfactory to you, you can send it back and they're going to take care of you. They're going to figure out if the gun has a problem or not, which you just never hear of Seekins rifles coming back anyways. They are world class. They're the real deal. Check them out. Put a Maven scope on top of it. You'll be very, very happy. Also, shout out to Shoot Banish. Banish Supressors. They sent me the Banish 30 V2 for this deer rifle build. And it's lighter than the V1. It's somehow quieter than the V1. If you've never shot with a suppressor, don't buy anything else until you put a suppressor on your gun. It makes it more or less hearing safe, just you don't get that concussive blast. For me, a guy that struggled with a flinch for many, many years, it helps me make better shots because I'm not anticipating that loud concussive blast. And it takes away 30-40% of recoil. So enhanced shootability, the quietness. I mean, everyone's going towards suppressors. Don't wait. If you go through Silencer Central right now, they're covering your tax stamp too. There's never been a better time don't buy 3 new hunting jackets. Save your money and get a suppressor and thank me later. So huge shout out to those guys. I think that's everyone. And of course, elkdon'texist.com. I wore the black on black Elk Don't Exist hat, and I'm convinced it's lucky. I was wearing that this entire season, and I will never be hunting without it again. Remind yourself to take yourself less seriously, have more fun. It's a great conversation starter, and it supports me a ton. That's how I make the majority of my money, is through elkdon'texist.com. My profit margins are extremely small while still being able to offer very quality pieces of gear. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme for me. This is more of a way to build brand awareness, to invite others to join this club of mediocre hunters that just want to have more fun and learn how to be more successful. So elkdon'texist.com.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But as far as Pam being annoying, I think she got pretty whiny. But I also
Thank
didn't.
you.
I also
You're the
didn't
first
like,
person I've ever been able to get to
I didn't
admit
really
that.
like Pam with Roy. I think Pam was tough all throughout. You know,
That's
kind of infidelity.
totally fair.
It was, the whole thing was like her
Yeah.
kind of not being. I don't know. Jim had kind of pure intentions and liked her, and she was the one who was dating this loser. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do about that?
Maybe she felt safe with him.
Yeah, maybe with Roy,
Maybe.
he was the worst.
Or afraid of him.
Maybe you liked Roy deep down. You thought you could be his friend.
Maybe I related to Roy.
Wow.
Because, well, when, the friend group all compares, so you're like this office character, I always get compared to Andy, and that
It's not. That doesn't make me feel great.
No,
yeah.
it crushes
I've never had that happen. Who would I be?
you would be
Don't say James Spader.
you would be Robert California.
Robert California. Dang it.
No,
Maybe what's the Creed? I'll be Creed.
I like that.
Yeah, we can go with that.
Yeah.
He's mysterious. You don't know where he's going from, man.
that's
Guy's got a past.
He's definitely killed people.
Yeah, I love when it's like creed.blogspot.com, and then Ryan says
It's just a Word
notepad.
document.
He said I've read some of it. It's shocking, even for the internet.
Creed's the best character.
Yeah.
Oh, did I ever tell you one? I used to have a sermon I would preach on this. Now I'm blanking on her name. Phyllis from The Office. Okay. In 2010, I'm in the LAX airport, and this is the peak Office fandom, right? I'm walking through the airport, and I look at 6 a.m, and Phyllis from The Office
Incredible.
is 50 feet away from me. We make eye contact, and she knows I recognize her, and she smiles at me, like welcoming me over to talk. And I went, I don't know her real name, and I'm not going to be that guy that goes over and says, Phyllis from...
Yeah.
So I did this awkward thing and walked away. Her name in real life is Phyllis.
Stop! I didn't know
And
that.
so I've preached a message on that of the encounter I missed out on because I didn't understand someone's name.
That was who she was.
And tied that into what God's name means and stuff.
Great.
I think about that all the time.
It's very good.
Yeah. Let's talk. I have a couple questions for you. One of my favorite things in the book is the story of the rancher and that great line, honey, you don't have to be a rancher or a ranch hand. Can you talk about the background of that story? 'Cause
Yeah.
that spoke to me so powerfully.
I think, the whole arc of the book is what you feel like is an end can actually be a beginning.
Right.
What feels like hitting a wall could actually be a stair. And that's where the metaphor, blessed are the spiraling, comes out of, because a tornado feels like it's destruction, and sometimes you go through seasons of life where you hit an end of a season or a career or a growth mode, and it feels like this is it, but there's always the invitation to discover the tornado's full of wildflowers, that the end was a beginning, that this was a catalyst for something new. And I mean, you're living proof of this. I mean, you felt like you had stalled out or were a failure, or I've heard you use language like that.
Yeah.
You felt stuck. You felt like you were, and you redefined yourself. You grew. You found a new calling. You took a step of faith. And so that story in particular was a guy who in our church had told me his whole life he had been a rancher because his family was a rancher. His family before them was a rancher, and he lived on the land. And he was also, dealing with some substance issues. There was a lot of going on in his family and marriage. But basically, I had given a series of messages called You in 5 Years.
Yes.
And I just said, hey, if you really got after it, 5 years is enough time to do something substantial. A lot of us make New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
But we should be saying, like, instead of just next year, but next 5 years, because this is a Craig Groeschel quote, we underestimate what we can do in the long term and overestimate what we can do in the short term.
Big time.
So if you said, hey, what are my 5-year goals? Well, you could get a degree in 5 years.
Yeah.
You could learn a language in 5 years.
Yep.
You could launch a company in 5 years. You could, easily write a book in 5 years. And so if you said instead, like for me, actually, this book was like literally a 3-year process. But if I just would like, next year I'm doing it, I would have rushed it out, right? This guy heard that. I said, you could start a whole new life. You could get a new skill. And so he was driving home thinking about it. He said, I don't want to be a rancher. And then his wife was like, well, what do you want to be? And he's like, well, I kind of thought it'd be cool to be an electrician. Yeah. But because of that concept, he felt safe enough to take the multi-year journey of getting his apprenticeship sorted out to become a Sparky and the whole deal. And literally now he's like in his career as an electrician. Yeah. And so my point wasn't everyone should quit their job and go do something new. My point was you can, even within what you're doing, have a new season of life that starts in the midst of it. So
that spoke to me so powerfully because when I first became a Christian, and you kind of know my previous church background, and it was like you're going to be a pastor, you're going to be a pastor.
A little heavy-handed?
A little bit. Yeah. We don't need to get into all of that, but so for 10 years, I'm like, I'm going to move to Brazil and plant a church, and this dread that came from even the thought of that, and this I can preach a little bit. And I'm working on communication skills. Does that make me a good pastor? And it was this one thing, I was always told, your life's not your own. The Bible says that. And I had this epiphany, correct. But my life is not yours either, right? It's his. Yeah. And so I had that moment, like the rancher, I don't have to, and that's okay.
It's funny to have this deep down dread that God's gonna for sure make you do something you hate.
I know. It's so common.
Did you get to the line in the book where I said, we're all deep down afraid God's gonna send us to the jungles of Africa to reach children? Yeah. And I say, relax, because God loves the children of Africa far too much to send someone with such a bad attitude to reach them.
Exactly.
God's going to send someone who has heart's broken for kids and loves them and longs to see them. I mean, there's Jonah's. Sure. God does send some people kicking and screaming sometimes, but the principle, I think, is he's a good father. Yes. He puts good dreams, good heart into your life, and he wants that to come out. So if it is vocational ministry, great. If it is the world of hunting or the world of sports or the world of medicine, that's not a betrayal of him to pursue those things. That's beauty.
Yes. Yeah. I love that the passage that says, delight yourself in the Lord, and he'll give you the desires of your heart. Yeah. But everyone forgets about that first part. Maybe he is calling to something that right now the thought of that I don't like, but you never know. My favorite prayer is, God, change my desires to want what you want, to love what you love.
Well, Augustine said, love God and do whatever you want. Yeah. So I think there's a spaciousness to God's will that we shouldn't be afraid of it. It's going to be what if we're running after him and he puts something in our lives to do, it's going to be the greatest thing, even if it's hard.
Yes. And it's going to be hard. Yeah. I think more than a lot of people how hard life can be. And there's few little seasons of reprieve from that, and I think that's a huge grace. And maybe that's why I love hunting so much, because I've learned to love the pain of it. I need it, and I'm sure there's stuff in your life that you like the challenge of it, and there's something beautiful about that. Getting up at 3 a.m. and climbing a mountain on skis, and then the reward of that is you get to go down for 5 minutes or however long that takes.
All the Malcolm Muggeridge, who was an old pastor, he said in 77 or 75, the quote is one of those two numbers. He says, in 70 years plus of serving Jesus, I've never once grown in an easy season.
For sure.
All the growth comes in the hard stuff. And so I love the heart of a Copeland. I love the heart sweating. I love, yesterday I was up at literally 3 a.m. and went with a friend to climb a mountain I'd never climbed, and hard, exposed, scary, exhilarating, joyful, you know?
Yes.
And I think we need challenges, we need difficult, we need to stretch ourselves, and that's true in any and all endeavors, right?
Definitely. Yeah, it was like before I kind of knew how my brain worked, and I always felt bad that I feel like you got my worst years, you know?
That's not how we looked at it
Like,
at
I did some cool stuff, but like I was trying to figure out how my brain functions, and
that's very much how we looked at it. That you were figuring things out, and you were giving your all, and I think that's what I think it's been amazing to watch you grow in both your own self-management, emotional management, and then sharing that for others. So
I appreciate
proud
that.
of you.
Thank you so much. But hunting was the first thing where everything in my body is saying, don't go over that ridge. Like, we've gone far enough. We haven't heard any bugles, you know, and that's my default is, you know, my brain severely lacks the self-motivation. That comes very hard for me. And before I knew that, the mountain was the one place I could consistently defeat myself and go, I don't care how my legs feel and how much pain are in my knees, and I'm gonna get back at 2 a.m. with nothing to show for it maybe, I'm going over that. And then being able to take that, like, well, if I can do it there, certainly I could do it with this other mundane stuff I don't like doing, you know? And I think with all of that, it just makes you feel extremely small. And I think everyone needs to do something in life that reminds you, like, you're not the guy, you know? And it's when you have a little following like me, you've preached to millions of people, flown all over the world, or 14 people, there has to be something in life that reminds you of who's really in charge and how teeny tiny you really are. Like, when you come across a moose, which this is so funny to me. Like, this is an Alaskan moose, okay, that your friend shot.
He got a crack at it with a bow and then ended up taking it down with a rifle. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So every time I'm up here for like pre-service prayer, if I'm playing drums or something,
you're very distracted.
You're gonna catch me staring.
Well,
at this.
we were trying to decorate this room, and we were trying to figure out what we were gonna put it. And he's like, I got this moose mount that is just like in a storage room somewhere. I was like, heck yeah, let's get it out here. And it's so fun because people are highly distracted by it, especially the hunters.
Yes, because, and I don't even know if you realize this, I've tried to explain it to you, and you're like getting ready to preach, so the timing is just not good.
So it was too loud. It was too loud of a moment.
Yeah. You're like, cool, man, relax. But so this tip-to-tip spread on this moose, people go to Alaska, if you shoot a 60-inch wide moose, that's like, you did it, man.
A big deal.
This is 75 plus inches. So how I can describe this to someone who doesn't hunt, 99.9% of hunters will never go to Alaska and shoot a moose.
Right.
Of the people that do go to Alaska to shoot moose, 99.999% won't even see one like this. Like this, what you are looking at is a once in 20 lifetimes
That's wild.
animal.
Wow.
Like, it morphed his skull. Like, so when I come in here and look at this, I just think you're getting to walk by the dream of a dream of a dream of a dream. And it reminds me of Fresh Life, actually.
Oh, man, that's
You started with 14 and you could have never dreamed.
Can you
what God
imagine
would do
packing
with
that
it.
out, though? That would be a gargantuan undertaking.
A many
That would be a lot of
day
work.
trip. I have buddies that go to Alaska and they're big moose people. They fly in. They learned how to fly bush planes so that they could hunt moose.
That's a special word you just gave.
Yes,
I received
but
that. That's really cool. I never even thought about that. It's a
I
big
want
deal.
you to think of that, like the dream of a dream of a dream. Like, look what God's done.
What I always think about when I see this, because it's not as holy and spiritual as you, is I think how much it would suck to be in a Honda Accord and to hit the legs and to have that body.
You wouldn't even
roll across.
break the legs of that.
You would
that
just
moose.
say hi to Jesus right away.
Yeah, you're like, all right.
Because it's not, from what I understand, too much higher than it would actually be.
Correct.
It would be maybe, I've heard someone said it would be maybe 6-7 inches lower.
Yeah.
Where the legs would actually be.
It is.
And I can't imagine how spindly those legs would be, and the thought of it, the body of that rolling into a car. 'Cause that's like catastrophic when the cars hit them.
instant. Yeah. No suffering. If you hit
Well, I mean, for the animal, lots of suffering. He's only begun to fight. All 4 broken legs.
A Honda Civic?
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe he wouldn't even feel it.
Like just a fly. Yeah. Like I've been hunting and had bull moose at 17 yards, and Alaskan moose body antlers are all bigger. Even a Shiras, you forget. Whoa.
And what's your holy grail? Like a mule deer? What do you really want to get?
Holy grail has always been an elk with my bow.
Okay.
And that's it. Like guys dream of going sheep hunting. That's such a money game right now. Like some of these sheep hunts are going for 150 grand.
Crazy.
You got the owner of Jimmy John's flying in on helicopter.
But you can, what you're saying is you can do that. You can get a mule,
an elk
with a bow. That's
Absolutely.
not, you don't have to spend to do that. People can do that. Yeah.
$18, $20 for the
There you
tag
go.
or whatever.
Amazing.
Public land, awesome. My holy grail is to be able to hunt as much as I want and never have to ask another grown man if it's okay to go hunting.
On his land.
No, just ask a boss, hey, can I have time off?
Gotcha.
That's the holy grail for me.
Yeah, amazing.
And yeah, hopefully my kids grow up loving it, and even if they don't, that's okay. I just want the coolest thing out there. I crave novelty. You never know what you're going to see when you go in the mountains, you know. I think that's one of the biggest appeals for me is, yeah, I would love to fill my tag. It's delicious, 3 times the protein of beef, like all these great health benefits, so much to it. But you just, what am I going to see today? And it could be nothing, but I have a great encounter with God. Oh, that was a question I had for you. What do you say to the hunters that say, the mountain is my church? Because I think there is some
I hear
truth.
lots of people say, not just hunters, lots of people say, like if I invited someone to church, a friend,
Yeah.
and they said, I worship God outside, I would say I do too, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love being outside. I mean, there's so much in the Bible about the handiwork of God and the way. But I would not look at that as the only experience. Like for me, gathering together with God's people to open up the Word and worship together, singing together with other people. Even if we take God out of it, it's been proven just to sing together with other people is good for the human soul.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Go see your favorite band in concert.
there's going to be
make friends
something
with
from the
strangers.
experience of that's powerful.
For sure.
So then I go, where else are you going to find other like-minded people you can have in community, like-minded people you can study the Word of God and get to know Jesus with. But I wouldn't badger or berate someone who says that. Like my goal wouldn't be like, oh, you're so stupid for doing that. Like, I'm like, oh, I see 100% the appeal of that.
Yeah.
And I get to experience that. Why not both?
Yeah, exactly.
So it wouldn't be an either or for sure for me.
When people ask me, why do you still go to church? You did the ministry thing for 10 years. Why do you still go? And it's like, well, not only, we're very blessed to have, like, in my opinion, and this is coming from a guy who's worked for you, listened to you for 12, 13 years, however long it's been, I still feel like every Sunday we get to listen to one of the most prolific communicators in Christendom. So I just appreciate that so much. But if you never preached again, I would still be coming here because this is where my people are.
Well, and I mean, the studies of people who are happier in life, marriage better with money, live longer, like the church attendance positively impacts.
Definitely.
The data is there that the experience of being a part of a local church positively impacts so many areas of your life. People are less lonely. We're living in a lonely epidemic.
For sure.
It's bad for you as smoking, they say, a pack of cigarettes a day or something like that. Like just to be lonely, to not have friendship. And the church is one place where you can walk in and you can go to a cold church or a mean church or whatever. I'm not saying every church is perfect or any church is perfect, but I'm saying you can walk in and there are going to be people who will get to know you.
Yes.
From all the different stratas of society.
Yes.
And where else can you interact with people who are successful in different ways, who are just serving on the same team together? I think there's something really powerful about that. hopefully in a church there's different, racially that there's diversity, there's beauty coming together.
And there should be.
And as the world gets more and more autonomous, you're checking out at the grocery store with a robot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's fewer and fewer areas in life to meet strangers and to build friendships.
Right.
And so I think the church, even if you took away like Jesus is the only way, which I'm not taking away at all.
Right.
There are still positive aspects to it. So let's not just like write it all off like it's all just church hurt. I mean, there's so much good that comes from it, and the chance to serve a community together. We've as a church been able to give millions and millions and millions of dollars away to nonprofits that are just doing great things like feeding homeless people.
And so many of them local, which
local
I've
in every
always
city.
loved.
Yeah,
we
I think the church local should always have a global impact. So we're also doing it globally, but. We're giving money to organizations that are doing disaster relief and that are, opening orphanages and translating the scripture.
Rescuing sex traffickers, for crying out loud.
Prosecuting sex traffickers, the
pregnant lady whose dude left and she's scared and doesn't know what to do.
To know what options there are and all those things. So
that's always my biggest response when people are like, tax the church.
Sure.
I'm like, do you want the government to have that money, or do you want us to continue to support these great local things?
Well, the money did get taxed by the people who earned it, like me and you, and then we give to the church money that's been taxed, and the church as a nonprofit gets to use it as a community good.
I think that's what a lot of people think is like, if you take a paycheck from church, you as the individual, like I worked in churches for 10 years, I gave the government a lot of that money, When you get paid from the church, it's getting taxed again. So that's a good point. It's money that has been taxed and is getting taxed, and all the things. Right.
Yeah.
So, So I've been trying to get you to hunt for like a decade.
Yeah.
And I'm not giving up. I'm just not as pushy about it anymore. And I've just slowly seen you like get into snowboarding, fishing.
I've been snowboarding since I was a little kid.
Okay, fair.
That's not new.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
But fishing and more hikes and stuff. So I'm not giving up on it.
So you're saying just hike with a gun in your hands,
Well, for me,
seems like it would throw my shoulder off a little bit.
Nah, I have so much gear.
There's a strap for that.
You're a gear guy.
The thing is Dillon, like people say, why don't you golf? And they say, is it because you wouldn't like it? And I always say, no, it's because I would.
Yeah, that's scary.
I'm addictive.
Yep.
And I'm a gear guy.
Yep.
And I go cannonball into everything I do.
Yep.
So if I started golfing, I would have all the clubs and be doing it all the time. And if I started hunting, it would be the same thing too. And I have gone hunting twice.
Oh, cool.
And both times I thought to myself, I like this enough to know it's not my season of life right now.
Got you.
So
interesting.
When I was cycling a lot, doing 100-mile bike rides every summer, that was what I jokingly called with my wife a 5-hour hobby. Because every time I pull my bike off the hooks, she would say, see you in 5 hours.
Yeah.
And
hunting and golf are
both 5-hour hobbies on their light end.
On the light end.
Probably golf 5 hours, hunting 15 hours.
Hunting is, it's a lot.
So I did 2 hunts, and both times it was like, okay, I see this as a very intensive time sport.
Yeah.
And so running and tennis are not that. I can play tennis for an hour. I can run for an hour. And there's going to come a season where my youngest is 8, my oldest is 19, turning 20 next month.
That's crazy.
I'm coming up quickly on a season that I'll be in where I can have more 5-hour hobbies.
Gotcha.
Today's just not the day.
I think that's so wise.
Yeah.
Because I worked for you. I struggle with time management. If there's not a deadline, the project's not done. I don't think I've ever preached a sermon that I didn't finish 5 seconds before I walked up the steps.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it works. Like, I don't get dopamine for pre-doing the task, so I got to rely on adrenaline. It's a very stressful way to live, but it's just how it works. So, I don't know, last night I was like, hey, Caitlin, it's 3 o'clock. She had most of her meetings done. I was like, can I go run out? I need to check these game cameras and see what's coming on. She said, will you be back by bedtime? I'm like, oh, yeah, no problem. So stupid, man.
Somebody's bedtime.
I was home at 9.
Yeah.
You know, when I told her I'd be home at 7. And it was one of those things where I've never actually been to this. I've been up here for 5 years. We got time, let's go check it out. And then I look at my watch, I'm like, oh, I was supposed to be home.
So all the game cameras, you have to go get the cards out of them?
I carry a card reader.
Okay.
And the game camera thing, like...
It doesn't cellular load it or whatever?
I have a cellular camera, but you can't use them once season starts.
Gotcha.
And I was too late in the game to hang that, so
Otherwise, you could just look at it on your phone.
It'll text you, which
right
is
there.
so fun.
That's wild.
But most of the spots I go, there's not great cell service. But once season starts, you can't. It's illegal to have them up.
That makes sense.
So I got started too late. But there's something.
Just mount a gun with it, and when the camera sees it,
automated.
just shoot it.
Yeah.
Easy.
Now you're on to
Go
something.
pick up the meat.
Oh man.
Drone grabs it, brings it
Yeah.
home. That would take the sportsmanship right out of
Big
it.
time.
Yeah.
Because
But
shooting is not.
your story
the
is
sport.
you get home late.
Yes, I get. My time management. I guess it's another thing of ADHD I'm learning. It's either now or not now. Like there's no. I don't have the concept of I have to be ready in 15 minutes. It's not time yet. So that has been very tough. But my wife deserves better. I married up for sure, but she's been so gracious with that, and she knows, especially now that this is a business, and yes, hunting's fun, but this is where I'm going to get the majority of the content for the year and sponsorship stuff now. She knows and is so good with allowing, I don't even like the word allow. Supporting, go, I got you. And Caitlin, there's no passive aggressiveness with her. There's no, go then. I'll be here with the children. Mm-hmm. There's none of that. So when she tells me, I need you home today, actually, this is a lot, it's the easiest. Yeah, no problem.
It's a deadline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which has been so good. So my last question, I ask everyone this. I always like to ask, what makes a good hunting buddy? Because there's a saying in the hunting world, finding a hunting partner is harder than finding a wife. You're not hunting yet, but you have chosen to do life with some really phenomenal people that speak into you, challenge you, I'm sure. I think everyone needs that. What makes a good buddy?
Well, I mean, I would imagine, you could take a nap with someone. If you could take a nap with someone, that's
another dude.
to be in, I've gone hiking with guys where you get there really early and you wait for the sun to rise to hike and put your seats back and take a nap together.
Yeah.
It's this is a new level of intimacy and vulnerability. I'm about to mouth breathe in your presence, So
we've shared some pretty small tents with.
There you go. But I would
dudes.
say in all of life, I love when you could be silent or talk and both are just as good.
And there's no pressure.
Yeah,
That's great.
when you feel like you have to just keep the polite conversation going the whole time. That's probably, I imagine, a long drive with no data, cell service. It's if you can just both fall into an easy silence, that's fine, and the conversation can pick back up.
Easy silence.
Pretty good.
Because there's some tough silences too, and you know that right away when you're meeting someone new.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I've never heard that actually. Someone you can fall into an easy silence with. That's terrific.
And if that's enjoyable,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really good. We have a mutual friend in Pace Hartfield, and I asked him years ago, what makes a good friend? And he said, the best friends are ones that require nothing from you. And that kind of goes hand in hand with that. I don't need you to entertain me for this hour.
Yeah, if you feel like you have to be on all the time, and kind of back to the whole fun loving, that if someone can't read the moment, know the room, and kind of just gel. I think we all feel at ease in the presence of people that we. So maybe for your hunting buddy, unless you don't want it to feel like it's work while you're also working.
Those are the guys I just won't ever hunt with again.
Just time.
And there's a couple guys beg me, take me to your elk spots. I'm like, okay. My whole thing is elk.
They don't exist.
It has taken me 10 years to figure out where our limited elk numbers are holding up, and you want me to just take you there?
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, it's a weird thing where we want to get new people into the sport, but there's also guys that I've had to say, dude, you're kind of stepping over ethics boundary.
Protocols, yeah.
Yes. And I'm sure there's been times in your life as a preacher where you've had to hey, and check some people. Do you have any examples of that?
Well, I mean, you get
Not in like a rude way, but
unsolicited mentorship requests. You know, God told me you're supposed to mentor me. I think that there's
That's
probably
tough.
the similar kind of thing you get.
no one's asking me to
It's all well intentioned. You know
Yes.
what I mean? I'm sure the same thing for you.
I just don't like when people say God told me. That's the same as the Bible college guy saying God told me you're my
Well,
wife.
that's the problem of ministries. You get everything gets blamed on God.
Right.
But I think there's just immature people in every industry.
For sure.
And people who, you know, and my advice would always be like, you can't stop someone from mentoring you. You can learn from whatever they put out.
For sure.
And you don't have to have their phone number to be mentored by them. So I think, like, people can see what you learn from you, see what you're saying, and let the relationship progress at your comfort level, and not and want to add value, and not you know want to take me to your place, take me what you've done, bring me along, mentor me. I think as opposed to like, I'm going to learn from you, I'm going to add value and be around and take whatever opportunities there, and then try and enlarge it and do the best with that.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's amazing, man. I have lots more stuff I want to ask you. Maybe we get you back on. I want to be sensitive to your time. It's been an hour. You told me when you were doing, when I invited you on, I said, I won't cuss. And you said, cuss as much as you want.
Don't make a cuss in front of the moose.
Yeah, not in front of the moose.
I have a friend who doesn't say she cuss. She says, I won't make a cuss.
I like that.
And then she also says that about prayer. She goes, I'm going to make a prayer for you. And I think it's kind of a nice, like I'm going to make a prayer. I don't want to make a cuss.
Because at the end of the day, like, cussing is words, right? And I think intentionality is big.
Yeah.
I think God says some pretty strong things about his own people in the Bible. I think it's more of a wisdom decision than anything. But I fight with...
To be clear, when you asked me to come on, I didn't say you can't cuss. You said I won't cuss.
Yeah.
That came from you, not from me.
Yes, and you said cuss as much as you want.
I said it's your podcast. You do whatever you want to do.
So we're going to get one out of the way right now.
You're about to make a cuss?
No.
We're going to see you make a good cuss? You're going to make a big old pile of cusses?
I could if I wanted to.
It's like a dookie. You know what I mean? Like, are you going to make a dookie?
Well, it's funny to me.
Now the pressure's on.
I know. I'm about to say the C word. No.
He's about to cuss.
No. But there's so many it's words, right? We say bloody here. That's funny. You go say bloody in England. Horrific. I think it's all intentionality. That's how I perceive it. And there's so much of life that is, God says, or Paul says, no unwholesome thing come out of your mouth. Well, what does that mean? Where's the line? I think everyone might have a different line. Conviction is what we're talking about. And I ride that line. But for me, like, being funny was always a defense mechanism. I was a little guy, very unsure of myself. Humor was how I was able to, like, win people over. And there's nothing funner to me than going into a room full of strangers and figuring out how can I win you over, which I think there's stuff I'm talking to therapists about.
My problem with cussing is, obviously what you said I agree with, but I also think it's lazy.
It can be.
It can be lazy because when you listen to writing it's just every word, there's a lot of, like, I want to buy someone a dictionary. Be like,
right.
There's a whole language out there.
Yes.
You could form sentences with all kinds of different words. I also know the human response to the CK sound, hard K sounds make people laugh.
Right.
Stand-up comedians know words that have hard K sounds have comedic resonance. And so it's almost like a cheap trick at that point to just have, like, to rely on certain things like that.
Yes.
And so I think that creatively you can do better.
I agree 1,000%. There's a line I have in the video that has the most views. It's like 4 million or something. Instead of saying,
but to say that,
that's not a lot.
It did all right on the internet.
It's done fine.
It's done
It's
good.
turbo viral.
Yeah, it's turbo fire. It's
in the hunting niche comedy
I
space.
made a success. It's fine. Everything you're gonna make everything now. We're just gonna keep calling that back.
100%.
I made a successful video once.
Yeah, I have plenty that got like 15 views.
That's what it is.
So I got the one winner, But in that, I have a line, you have to chase these elk for 18 Gregorian Fackin miles. I didn't cuss. but there's something about Gregorian Facken that if you read the comments on that video, that's the line
It feels
that's quoted
like
most.
Geoffrey Chaucer would be pleased with it. Yeah.
Yes, it's
Well, there's creativity.
I like finding the word that's like, that'll get them.
Sure. I think firkin's funny too.
Firkin? I've never
It's a
heard that
unit
one.
of measurement from the old King James.
Oh, a firkin.
A firkin.
Yeah.
Because when Jesus turned the water into wine, it says each of these containers held 20 to 30 firkins apiece. And it's funny to think about.
20 to 30 firkins.
It's Facken.
That's funny.
Or firkin. It's funny.
And now just looking at that camera and say it for real.
Elk don't exist.
Perfect.
They do. They do exist.
They do.
Silly goose.
They do.
You silly goose.
Government projection. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
I really
for having
appreciate you. Guys, check out Blessed Are the Spiraling. Please, if you're anticipating any kind of change in your life, if you're currently going through one, if you would say to yourself, man, I feel a little aimless, maybe midlife crisis-ish, and even if you're not,
Just help
this
send
book is
my
awesome.
3 remaining kids to college.
Yeah, I'm praying for you, pal.
Amazing.
Appreciate you, man. Love you. Thanks, guys.